right, can you all see that? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me make sure nobody's trying to get in here real quick. All right, I'm just gonna pick up where I left off, so I don't keep you guys too long. But anyway, Drew Logan, he's a scout for the group, and he does pretty safe plays, and he's really smart on like spreads, and if you want to take more safer plays, and he's also really good with like how the market and economy is reacting. So if you want to know anything about the economy, he's definitely the person to look for. Drew is definitely the richest guy in here. He's got, like I said, he turned $4,500 into 2.2 million bucks in just a year and a half, just trading options. He's really heavily into like tech sector, e-commerce, financial technology stocks and stuff like that. So he's a really smart guy in terms of like valuations and long-term holds. And he'll just like, he doesn't really signal a lot. He'll just tell you what he's in every now and then and just be like, yo, this looks good. And if anytime he says it looks good, just buy it. Because he's like I said, he's a genius. He could look at something for 5 seconds and it'll be up. One time I bought an Amazon call on Thursday and swung it into the next day in a bloody market. And he's like, this is going to pay you pretty well. And I think I spent like $800 on it. It paid like $12,000. It was insane. It was actually crazy, but that's just option volatility. And I think Amazon went up like $120 that day. But anyway, the next on the list is this pro watch list. I have some bots in here that's going to help you. Basically just, I have this earnings whispers that tells you different stocks and stuff. I wouldn't really pay attention to like different chart patterns that they show because some of them are pretty janky. But when they show you about different earnings that are coming up this week, so something like this one will show you earnings for the week. This is a good one to pay attention to. It'll show you like what things are breaking down on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I also send out reminders. But then I also, in the morning, I'll always post something like I'm watching. I don't really give a lot of analysis, but I basically just say, I'm looking at Macy's for puts, MGM for puts today. Then I'll watch the SPY low HD square and what level it could get ugly at. So I basically put in a lot of these where I see the news. In the morning, I'll post like what has an upgrade, who got a merger, who did like a lot of this other stuff. Any good news or bad news for the stock, I'll basically describe it to you in my Scott Snipes channel, and then I'll put in the pro watch list of these are the stocks that you should watch for the day, or at least the morning. Trading floor is where everybody converses, everyone talks. A lot of. Wait, let me make sure everybody's in here.
I'm in here. I sent that one.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, cool. So trading floor is where everybody talks on a daily basis. It doesn't really get too crowded, which is nice. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this a closer knit community. I tried to keep this low key, but then all of a sudden the TikTok jumped 300,000 views in a night. So I'm going to cap this, and I'm not going to let it get out of hand, just so if you guys are worried about that. I actually want to make sure that people are learning this shit. And then crypto NFTs. I personally have just started getting into crypto and learning about non-fungible tokens and NBA Top Shop and stuff like that, and a lot of cryptos. So I've been on a lot of calls to make sure you guys I know that's a big thing nowadays. People want to invest in crypto and they want to understand it. So I've been on a lot of calls to bring in like this guy named Stephen Nin and a guy, Bob Flamingo. His name's actually Casey, but I brought these guys in. I got them on a call, and then these guys are really, really knowledgeable. And I told them we're going to clean up a chat, probably this crypto signals, and they're going to have like Word documents and stuff where they can break down stuff. So it's a lot cleaner for you, and it's not just a lot of text. But this will all get cleaned up, the crypto and crypto signals. But the Stephen Nin guy, the Mr. Bueno guy is really good as well. The Brandon FT, I forget his Brandon something, is really good. But the guys in the red are the crypto guys that I brought in, and they're really good with what they do. So if you guys need help, hit them up. I can also help you out setting up different accounts and how to transfer like Bitcoin into ETH and buy these smaller coins and stuff like that. Been watching.
Don't you, when you swap something, that's taxable too, right?
It's not. It's not taxable. When you swap something, it's a fee. There's a fee that they pay, but there's different. Whatever. It depends on what you swap, or it depends on what you convert. So if you convert Bitcoin, it's going to be a fatter fee. If you convert Litecoin, it's going to be like 4 cents. It's going to be absolutely nothing. So there's different ways around it, and we can talk about that. I personally use Cash App and just kind of eat the 30-cent fee when I convert Bitcoin. But there's ways that you can use like Cardano or Litecoin, or you can convert ETH or BNB if you use Trust Wallet.
Yeah.
There's ways to do it. There's ways we can get around it for a cheaper fee.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the cryptos channel. This is where everybody's going to talk. And then this crypto signals channel is probably just going to be more like the crypto pro channel, where they signal the long-term holds that are really safe to hold, the ones that are going to be good. And then a lot of those shit meme pump coins, I'm sure some people will post about in here. So I wouldn't follow or like try and go all in, but there are some that really hit. Like Rover last week went up 14,000% or 20,000%, something absurd that Mr. Bueno found. And now he's calling for Kuma to be one of those next pump coins. But I wouldn't waste a lot of time looking for those next pumps, even though they might make you a lot of money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend just trying to find a pump and dump, even though they have been working for a lot of people lately. But then I have this share portfolio. This is just for people that it starting to like build out share portfolio. If you have a lot of money and you're looking to put it somewhere, there's a lot of, I put in these two pictures up here, like what kind of stocks are. There's blue chip, dividend, defensive, growth stocks, which is like tech sector, cyclical, and penny stocks. So like you can read about these. There's different types of sectors, like the energy sector, the tech sector, real estate sector, consumer discretionary, healthcare, stuff like that. So that just like kind of shows you in a breakdown. And then I built out this personally, my portfolio and my percent weights that I have directly into these. They've changed a little bit over time, but especially right now with a lot of these broken up, I do a lot of analysis and I change these up all the time. But I'm heavily weighted in Square and Tesla right now, just because they've been the biggest growth stocks for me since last year. I'm trimming up a few of these, and I also trade puts against them on the long side. So I'll buy puts if things are falling in my share portfolio. I have a couple different portfolios. I have a share options account. I have a share account. I have an options account, and I have a smaller account to help out sometimes, and I have a crypto account. So it's nice to keep them separated. But if you're looking to build a share portfolio, it's really nice because over time, like you won't even look at these. You'll come back and you'll be like, wow, okay, I guess the stock market's doing well. And you just don't really have to worry about these because these stocks that I have people in or that I'm in right now, they're just continually going up over time. And sometimes they'll get beat up, but shares, the best part about having a share account is when you're making so much money on options account, you can use those profits to kind of take some of those profits away and shove them into shares and buy them longer term. So that's kind of like the whole goal is build up an account for options account to start buying shares long term, and then just rinse and repeat, continually buy options. And when you start to make a good amount of money, take a piece of it, put it in some shares long term, and then there's different ways you can do it. You could do growth stocks, you could buy dividend reinvestment plan stocks and just collect a dividend check over time. Somebody just messaged me, but this is basically just shares. If you guys have any questions on this, we could really dive into this in another time, but I won't bore you with it. Options portfolio, these are like the long-term calls. So like a lot of these are kind of gotten blown up recently that we kind of got out of. So I had to clean this up. But anytime we call something out in the options portfolio, it's because we're trying to hold it for a longer term. As you can see, these ones expire in 2022 of January. These are like longer term calls, and these are usually good companies that have great financials and great growth potential as well. Managing portfolio. This is a good spot to learn from and like just read some of these screenshots I have, because when the market is falling and people are going crazy, I've had people panic like crazy. And I basically just have a little rundown of if the market is falling and you have a lot of shares or you have a lot on the call side, how to hedge yourself out with puts and just basically lock in some stuff, especially if you don't have day trades or however it might be. So if you're panicking and you don't know how to like manage losses, or if you're holding long and don't know what to do with it, I would come here managing portfolio. This $236 account, I just found a random Robinhood account that I had like $236 in, and I'm trying to see how far I can take it. I think I have like 300 and some dollars in there right now. So sometimes I'll post in here, but I also have a guy named Jordy in here that is looking to take over this account and try and help the guys with the smaller accounts build their money up, because he's really good at finding really, really cheap contracts and buying them, you know, things that are worth like $5, and then he'll ride them to like $20, or buy $20 contracts and ride them to like $70. So he's really good at that, and I think he's going to be very helpful in the smaller account challenge for the new guys. And
Would
then,
you recommend?
What's that?
Would you recommend like a 0 to expiration date call? Like I know that's a strategy too.
Zero.
Like you buy a rate like way out the money with a lot of volatility, because I seen something on AMC like June 18th. There was a lot of volatility for a $40 call, which is kind of crazy.
Uh-huh.
So
I mean, that is a strategy for sure. Like, but what are the odds AMC gets? I mean, I guess it is possible with this market. It's like people are pumping companies up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see that recently, like back in the day when the market was completely euphoric and every day was green and people were just getting rich overnight, which was pretty cool. That was a good time. But
The thing with the 0 day to expiration too, you got to kind of just like hawk it. You got to be watching it, and it's like you get out like quick. It was like 5-10 minutes max probably because the volatility it could go up or it could go like really down. But the volatility on it was like ridiculous.
for sure, yeah, no, the volatility is one thing to pay attention to, and same with the IV percentage as well on stock options. Um,
Okay.
but we can get into that at another time too. But to get just to dive into this real quick, just not to bore the hell out of you, the market news links is all automated, so anything it just can be completely flushed in here. It's connected to like economics, macro markets daily. It'll show you some random news feeds and stuff, and sometimes I'll post in here some important stuff. A lot of the news that I see are going to be on the trading floor. I'll post in there in my channel. Next era tweets is just linked to my tweets, Logan's tweets, and Drew's tweets. So anytime we tweet, this will pop up. Same every time we post a YouTube video, it'll pop up right in here. Beginner's guide is really good for all you beginners. I have a lot of videos in here just showing you how to set up an account, how to trade an option, what the hell is an option, what's a stock, how to buy a stock, how to buy an option on both Robinhood and TD Ameritrade. They're all short videos of like 2-3 minutes. It's very simplified. And then this is just showing you how to enable options or how to start trading options, and then different options order types as well. And then once you're done with that, go to technical analysis tab, which is all the charts and stuff I was showing you. I have a lot in here where it's just showing different patterns, both on the call side and the put side, and then just a video of introduction. This video kind of sucks. Some guys doing it, but it was my first video, and it's really long, but it is really helpful. And then educational lessons. This is more advanced stuff. This is me like talking about the IV percentage. This is that economic video I was telling you guys. You should all really watch this. This is going to actually change your whole perspective on the market.
Okay.
And then I'll also talk about theta contracts in here. So this is like all the Greeks that sound pretty crazy, but they're not. These are all the Greeks that you'll see on your option contract, and this is explaining every single one of them, what they mean. Theta is really only the one that really matters in the kind of trading I do. And here's a pretty detailed explanation and example of what theta is. And Thinkorswim setup, this will just show you how to set up like the charts and stuff that I have and how to read them. And this will also show you how to set up a brokerage account. And then Profits Trophy Case, all of our money that we've made over time. You can sit here and brag if you want, or you can stay away. It's all cool. Chat suggestions. If you think something would be cool, let us know. And any questions you have, just type it away and then somebody will answer it. So that's kind of how it's all laid out. There's a little bit of a university. You got questions, you have engagement. It's linked to all of our news articles. Here's where we trade and send our analysis in. And then trading floor, crypto, NFTs. This is where the action is right here, where a lot of people are talking and bouncing ideas off each other. So kind of a lot, but it's really organized, and I hope that's not too much for you guys to process. But I try to keep it really organized, and I keep it a pretty close-knit community too. So that's kind of the rundown.
Okay.
Yeah, we're always open for questions and everything. So.
Oh yeah, there's Logan.
What is hedging against your position? Because I always see like, so let's say you buy a call and it's not going that way, so you buy a put. Would that be hedging, or
Yeah.
like buying cash secured puts and stuff like that?
Sure. I mean, you can always. So it's really more so if you don't have day trades. But we preach having a cash account. If you have a cash account, they give you unlimited day trades, whether you have 25 grand or not. It doesn't matter. In Robinhood, you have to have $25,000 to have unlimited day trades, or 3 day trades a week. So we preach getting a TD Ameritrade account, get a cash account, and they let you have unlimited day trades. They just, as long as it's whatever cash amount you have. So if you have $1,000, you can trade $1,000 within that day, and then the next day, whatever you made or whatever you lost, it'll settle, and you can trade unlimited amount of times for how much money you have on the next day. But basically, hedging. If you want to hedge something, say you have a really long call. Say we have this options portfolio or the shares portfolio. Let's just say you have a 2022 call in Square. You think Square is going to go to $200 or $300 this year. So Square is you have those $300 calls, but it's going to be really, really bearish and things are going to fall. So you're going to want to buy a shorter term put. So let's say it's May and your call option expires in January. You're going to want to buy a put option that maybe expires in June, or July. And then as it falls, you're going to profit on that downside. You're losing money on the call, but you're making money on the shorter term put and more money because you're money. You sell that put for profit. That's hedging. So when you're hedging because you're making money on the downside as it's falling, you sell that put, and then you can just ride your call up, or you could use your put profit to buy another call and ride it up together, so then average your cost down, and then you'll make money on the longer side. So it's really like a strategy game. It's more of like hedging is more of like a strategy to help yourself longer term if you have long calls or long shares as well. You can do the same thing. That's what a lot of hedge fund managers do.
Okay. You're locking in your profits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's well, like one reason I like try and pull out at like maybe more than 20% is because when taxes take like most of them profits. Like for example, I had a $84 call last week on AMC for $10. I was up 451%. Of course, I took profits because that's a crazy gain. But when I see like $10, $20, I don't feel like it's that much.
Yeah, I mean it's all relative based on your account. And taxes only matter at the end of the year. And how taxes are there whatever you're up over the whole year.
Yeah.
Like say you're up, but only over $3,000. You're only going to pay taxes over that $3,000, and you're going to attach it to your income level. So whatever you make a year, let's say you make 50 grand a year or 100 grand a year. Say you made 10 grand that year, you're just going to add that 10 grand onto your income at the end of the year, and then they'll tax you in the tax bracket that falls under. So no, it's not like it's every individual trade; it's in aggregate over the whole year.
Oh, okay.
And if you're trading, it's around 25 to 30%. More so probably 30% if you're doing short-term trades. But if you're long holds, sometimes it'll be 20% or 15%, sometimes 0%, depending on how long you hold it for.
Okay.
Is this helpful? Like, is this helpful for you guys? Or?
Yeah, it's very helpful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, it's definitely very helpful. You're breaking everything down.
For sure. All right, cool. I know it's a lot to unpack. There's a lot of stuff going on, but literally over time, we can continue to do these Zoom calls, or you guys can ask questions in the questions tab, and we're really good at answering all the questions. There's a lot of guys in here that are really knowledgeable that have been in here for a while. So anything you guys have, don't hesitate to reach out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any tips? Hello? Any tips on how to become like a better trader?
I mean,
in general,
I would really learn technical analysis. I would really learn like those charts and stuff like that. I would really spend some time on this technical analysis tab and starting to learn how to read charts and read volume and some indicators and stuff. And then I would also start looking at like how the economy works as well, because that's really helpful. And then I would definitely look at different sectors. So like the SPY versus the Dow versus the tech sector, realize how they all correlate. And you'll know that if you watch, I keep saying this, but please watch that Ray Dalio video. That'll really help you understand the whole economy. And then becoming a better trader is technical analysis. And honestly, I think if you just watch how we do things, if you just learn by watching us do it, I've made a million mistakes in trading. I've probably lost money every single possible way you can. And now I know what not to do. And that's why I started this as well, so you guys don't make those same mistakes. So just watching me, and if you have questions or like, is that right? Or why was this wrong? Or why did this happen? That's going to help you become a better trader too. So just having a mentor and actually like soaking in all this information that we have posted in here is going to help you become a better trader big time.
Risk management's a big one, everyone.
Yeah. What's open interest? Is that how many people want that call?
That's how many people have the calls or the contracts currently. The open positions.
So when there's like unusual options activity, what is that? Because the interest is high, or the open interest is high, higher than normal, right?
It's just abnormal purchasing of contracts.
Yeah, just a lot more volume in like that contract than usual. Like just like say there's like a big, they call them whales. So somebody comes in and buys like 100,000 calls or 200,000 calls at a certain strike price. That would be unusual call volume.
Okay.
I saw this one news post. It was like obviously an institution. They put like a $5 or $6 million bet on the downside on SPY. Like I think it was like a $375 put option.
Yeah, so you got to be careful. A lot of people do that, and they kind of fuck you up because you're a retail trader, that scares the shit out of you. But the one video I posted on TikTok is when you see these humongous bets on the downside for puts, it's because they have multiple other millions on the long share side. You know what I mean? They're just hedging themselves out. So when you see a shit ton of puts like that, it's not like they're like shorting it, it's gonna fucking crash. It's just because they're hedging themselves out, but it looks bad. They make it look bad so they can make money on their bet because long-term shares are always going to go up. So they're just basically trying to instill panic. And being on Wall Street, I saw a lot of these scumbags kind of screw people over like that. And they always took the larger side and tried to like, you know, vacuum out retail trader money. And they always have, and they probably always will. So that's why I always preach, take your money. Don't be too greedy, because they will always win. The same thing happened for GameStop. Everybody was like, yo, GameStop, we pumped up this stock to $400, but you didn't. You just fucking helped the retail, or you helped the institution short a stock. Instead of 18, they were shorting it. They were shorting at 400, and they got fucking billions of dollars. So, I mean,
and they'll paint the tape as well. So they'll buy and sell orders back and forth just to confuse you. So you got to be really paying attention to everything.
Yeah. So, for example, like that, like people pay attention to the order flow. So you'll see people like a whale order or like a buy order, and you'll see it on there resting, just waiting to be executed. But I learned this on Wall Street, and I did this on the floor. They tell you to put a huge buy order, like lower than the price is. So like say the stock is trading at $80, they tell you to put like a $20 million trade at like, what I say, $80. So say it's trading at $80, and they tell you to put a $20 million buy order at 75, so to execute at 75. So when it starts getting down to that price, they tell you to cancel that order and take it away. And then they'll buy right below that because they were trying to sell it so much. And then it's basically like not front running, but kind of like almost like the bull, like trying to like tease the bull to bring it down. So there is a lot of manipulation in the market, and they told me to do that. And it's just like, it's a fucked up system. It's just like watching that and seeing how they do it is also helped me trade and how to make some money on my own. And that's why I created this channel to help you guys out.
I knew it.
But
I saw that. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
I have a question. How good of a trader you gotta be to be on Wall Street?
You gotta be pretty. I mean, it's different. It's like what the hell is this?
You get cheat codes. That's what.
Yeah, you have a lot more resources, and you have not like faster data, but kind of faster data. You got to be a pretty good trader, but you just have to have the connections. The connections are everything on Wall Street. It's like a big frat down there.
Networking.
You guys been together for years, so they really only let in people that they know, or like have some sort of connection or whatever. I don't know how that connection. I honestly kind of got lucky, but
I mean, I definitely give it to you. I mean, you guys are basically 6-7 figure earners, helping out the small retail people right now. You know, basically, if you guys really wanted to, you guys could be charging thousands of dollars for this type of package and help you're giving people, but you're really giving it to people for free for the price you're helping them with.
I mean, that's what it's a much, but there's nothing better than seeing people come up. And like, I mean, I was the poorest kid in the world, man. I grew up in the smallest town ever. My mom was one of 5 kids. My mom was a single mom. She worked like 3 jobs just to like maintain us. And honestly, I didn't even come up until a year and a half ago. So I had like $3,000 to my name, and now I have, I'm coming up on 7 figures now just from trading and shit like that. I think I have this one account that I have up right now. I have about $400,000 in it right now. But I mean, I was there, so I feel for people I love just helping people out, break out of that. Yeah, I think it's like 400. There's 400 in this account right now, but typically, I don't know. I mean, you're right. I could do whatever it is, but it's just something about like helping people get to that next level. There's something better.
Nah, I definitely respect that. A lot of people don't do those type of things, man. So it's a blessing, bro, for real.
Yeah. But long term, I'll start a hedge fund and shit like that. So my whole vision here, just so you guys know, is like help everybody build up their capital, gain a reputation, and then I'm gonna end up starting a hedge fund in the next couple of years and shit like that. And hopefully, a shit ton of you guys have, hundreds of thousands of dollars and stuff like that, and maybe y'all can invest in that, and then I could take that and turn that into extra hundreds of thousands of dollars for y'all. So This whole thing is just helping people become better traders, better financial futures, and then I'm gonna start a hedge fund and stuff like that. I'm just trying to build a community. That's really what it's all about.
So would you say that technical analysis is the most important thing that a beginner should learn
Yes.
to get into trading? Yeah.
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that's a really good first step.
Is there more advanced videos that you guys have that you can post in the group? Because I've gone through the beginner ones, or is there books or anything that you guys suggest that we should read in order to expand our knowledge on it?
For sure.
I've studied for I haven't taken the exam, but the Chartered Market Technician textbook. That's a good textbook. It has literally everything that you can think of, and then from there, I just kind of Googled everything that I found interesting within the book. But other than that, I mean, we use pretty specific indicators, and we can kind of go into detail on those and try to help out with understanding why we're using them.
For sure. Yeah, we could definitely make some more videos. Like I said, I only started this like 3.5 months ago. I wasn't expecting it to blow up this fast. But like I said, I'm going to put a cap on it so it doesn't get out of control. And then whatever you guys need, any chat suggestions, questions, anything you want, I can make videos on it. Anything that I'm using. Like I said, yeah. So, I mean, that's a great book to use. Google's a great thing to use. And then some of the videos I have in there, I show you some of my technicals on how I set them up. And then now I can make more videos on more basic breakdowns of what everything means and where prices will kind of bounce off of these prices based off these like Bollinger Bands and EMAs or the volume down here. Like this just looks like a bunch of gibberish and lines to me. But I can make videos on how things react based off of these just for you so you can understand them a little bit better.
Hey, Scott, how do you tell when there's a gap that's going to be filled or not?
I mean, that basically comes like on an intraday basis. I don't know what the hell this line is. It's kind of pissing me off. But so when I showed you guys FSR earlier, I don't know if you were on this, but I'll scroll back. Where was it? Was it 2 days ago? Yeah. So on this daily chart on FSR, this is what happened on the day that it gap filled. I've been noticing this a lot. So there's a lot of trends in the market that change. Sometimes there's something called a falling wedge pattern where things are falling pretty drastically and then they'll completely break out and reverse for you. That happens in a bullish market. Sometimes there's a bear flag or a bull flag. So this one is technically a bear flag here. As you can see, it kind of it's all about patterns in technical analysis. So it's recognizing those patterns that I have in those technical analysis tab. So this is a bear flag. It jumps up, so it kind of makes a flag if you look at it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
What is a bull and a bear? Is bear just when it's going down and bull is when it's going up?
Yeah, bear's down and then bull is up. But this is kind of like a bear flag, and then so that's basically a downtrend followed by a green trend. It was green up here, so this was like a super nice bear flag that happened. And then you can tell when this is a VWAP, so a lot of the times it'll test this VWAP price and it'll either get rejected or it'll shoot right through it. So these indicators are pretty big to learn too. I'll make a video on this so you guys understand it. But when it shoots down and gets rejected, it's showing a bear flag, so it's most likely going to probably fall below the support line that it recently bounced off of. And then that's when I would probably buy some puts to take down. So the gap fill is based off of like the opening price action. Sometimes they'll soar up, and then if it doesn't have a ton of volume, if it soars up and it doesn't have a ton of volume and kind of stagnant, I'll definitely buy puts knowing that it's going to gap fill. And if the SPY and the QQQ are falling, like the whole market's falling, I wouldn't expect the stock to continue upward either. And it all depends on the news. Like if it is getting bought out by Amazon, it's not going to, fall like that. Or if they find a cure for cancer, the stock's not going to fall. It's really just basically like how good the news is, how the market's reacting, and the opening price action of the stock. So it kind of just depends. Sometimes, most of the time they have been gap filling I would say probably about 90% of the time they've been gap filling lately. But it just depends.
I say the weaker the name or like the smaller the cap, the more likely it is to fill its gap.
Yeah.
That rhyme didn't try to make it rhyme, but like if it's a small cap and it's gapping up, unless like Scott said, they cured cancer or something, like it's probably going to, I'm not going to say probably, but there's a good chance.
It's coming towards us.
Would you say I'd say that's
Yeah, I would say the weaker the name and like the less volume that's traded in it, and it's the less popular it is. I would say if there's not a lot of growth potential and it's a smaller cap, I wouldn't say that it's going to completely. But then again, it all depends. Like nothing is ever consistent. It all depends on what's happening that day. And like we'll always post the analysis and we'll guide you through it, we'll coach you through it, give you the support and resistance lines on when to get out if it reverses, and when to take profits, shit like that. We're pretty active. Today I wasn't very active because like I said, I did not expect to get blown up like that. But things are starting to slow down a little bit, and I'll be more active.
So how would you practice risk management? Just knowing your exits and knowing your entries?
Yeah.
And just sticking to a plan?
Exactly. Yeah. You got to, discipline is everything, and risk management is everything. So I always say parameters. If you're wrong on a trade, especially if you're trading options, don't let something go to minus 80%. Don't let something go to minus 60%, 50%, because there's no point. If you're down 15%, 10%, get out. You're wrong. So what's the point in being wrong 10%? And when you're right the next time, you're up 25, 30%, you're still going to win. If you lose 3 times being down 10% and the next win is 40%, you're 1 for 3, but you're profitable. So being disciplined on the downside is a lot better than looking for home runs. Don't try and swing for home runs, because those small wins add up. The $50, $100, $200 wins on these stock options, if you sell those and take profit over 5 trades, you're up $1,000 if you made $200 per trade. Yeah. And just clicking a few buttons, holding them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not something you can say that people do very often, in a 9-to-5 job.
So what is that TTM squeeze? What is that chart? What does that show?
Logan, you're pretty good with the TTM squeeze. You want to take that one?
Yeah, the TTM squeeze is it's a few indicators that I'd have to explain further to kind of explain this. But basically, it takes 3 indicators and combines them. So the downward motion on his chart, he's got a dark red. Now that's a strong downward momentum. And then the lighter red is a upward. It's negative. It's upward trending pressure or momentum, but it's still negative momentum. So it's kind of, you can think of it as like pressure, like the pressure on the stock is subsiding. So you can kind of, if you look at the chart, like see how it. Yeah.
All right, it's probably kind of hard to show you if you're not like actually operating it, but if it's falling like this, like you can see. Let me see if it's a lot easier to explain this. And
the red dots are what the squeeze is. So that's when there's low volatility, and then you can almost always there's consolidation when there's red dots there.
And it kind of shows like volume too. So it shows like upside pressure. So if the stock is going up like this, it's going to have really light green. So I have light green for when it's really uptrending, and you can see it start to fade right here. So then it goes dark green on me. So that means that's showing me that it's losing pressure and stuff like that, and it's trying to reverse on me. But then there's still some more upward pressure that holds it. And then when it finally reverses, you can see it stop losing pressure, and it's going to start going to the red side. Yeah. So it kind of follows these stock price patterns and basically all the pressure and stuff that it has and the momentum it has going upward. So this is an indicator kind of helping with the volume as well. And this RSI, which is relative strength index. Anything above 70 is overbought. Anything below 30 is oversold. Some pretty good indicators to watch apart too. The TTM squeeze is kind of it's tricky to explain, and it's also tricky to track. I'm still kind of learning it the best way, but it really is helpful in day trading when you can start to see things start to fade out a little bit. When it's the right colors.
Pretty much anything with technical analysis, if you don't know exactly what it does, like you shouldn't be using it because it's just gonna cause more distraction than anything. The most important thing on the chart is price and volume. Yeah. And like any indicator is just showing you price and volume in different ways.
I would get VWAP on your charts too. Volume.
Yes. VWAP. VWAP is the most important for sure.
What about the MACD? Is that another good one?
I use the MACD. A lot of people like that, but I do like these Bollinger Bands, these blue lines, because it really does show you when it's. See how it's like coming, always trying to stay within this Bollinger Band. When it breaks out, it's always there. I really like the Bollinger Bands.
Okay.
The squeeze, so the red dots on the TTM squeeze are also correlated with the Bollinger Band. So that it's kind of showing you, volume subsiding, a movement's going to be made is essentially what that means.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And another thing I wanted to add on the contracts, risk management for contracts versus like just trading shares, it's different because you have with contracts you can have time decay and just different volatility. Like there's different factors that go into the pricing, and so if you're down 50% on a contract, you might not ever come back. I mean, you got to learn how to really cut the things that are not going to be winners. Just learn to be disciplined and let the trades that are winning, let them win and sell them when there's no more momentum, so it's easier said than done, but if you can lock that in, that's going to level you up.
And guys, I haven't enabled unlimited Zoom meetings. I'm going to buy it after this because this is pretty annoying, only having like the 30-40 minute limit. So I'm gonna do that for next time, but there is about 2.5 minutes left. If you have, I don't know if you guys want me to do another Zoom, but I know it's getting pretty late. We've been doing this for about a little over an hour now. If you guys want me to do another one, I'll fire one up if you want to conclude with other questions. But if not, we could always pick up and do another Zoom meeting at another time, or if you have any questions, we could answer them in the chat. But
you said you were going to do another call with technical analysis?
Yeah, we can do that. We can set up one,
it. Okay.
so we don't have to like overcrowd you guys with a bunch of information. I know it's been a lot tonight already.
Yeah, but that's all I have.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that was helpful. Especially for the beginning.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
I just basically just wanted to introduce how the chat was laid out, what an option was, and then kind of introduce you to technical analysis. It is really, really, really easy. We have about less than a minute left, so if it comes off, sorry about that, but we can fire up another Zoom call whenever you guys want. But this is made to help you guys, and I just wanted to introduce the whole concept and ourselves just to help you guys out.
Okay.
I definitely appreciate
your
it.
time.
Yeah, and we're here to help. We're definitely here to help. So
Any question, hit us up.
happy to help.